In this episode of Let's Chat, I'm going to share what you can do to effectively manage your stress, and I'll give you 8 tips that, as a super giver, I use to prevent always going down the slippery slide into overwhelm. So, if you want to function more clearly, make decisions more effectively, and process your tasks and activities with more efficiency, I encourage you to give them a go for yourself. As I'm going through them, let me know down in the comments what resonates with what you already do and what perhaps triggers you. And then if you see value in this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It makes such a huge difference. And then if you'd like to get updated with when a new episode is released and to really help me grow this channel, simply click the subscribe button. So in the part 1 episode, I shared the fundamental difference between stress overload and overwhelm and focused on what everyday stress looks like and when it turns into overwhelm for you and how you, as a super giver, might react or respond in both the short and long term. I also explained what your stress responses can look like. These are the 4 Fs: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And I have a chart that you can download to use as a ready reference tool if you'd like. The links to both part 1 video and the 4F stress response gift are in the description box below if you'd like to check them out. Alrighty then, let's get into some healthy ways to manage your stress or stress overload so it doesn't spiral out of control and leave you completely stressed out. And the way I know to make that work sounds altogether too obvious. It's all about prevention. Here are 8 tips that I use to prevent always sliding into overwhelm. They have become fundamental life lessons that bolster me when the curveballs arrive, or when it just feels like there's too much going on for this poor little old people pleaser. So, tip number 1, regular downtime or alone time. Prioritize space in your schedule to just sit with yourself, to integrate your experiences, process and reflect with curiosity and not judgment on all that is going on for you. So this might look like journaling, a gratitude practice, or taking yourself out on a date, doing something that lights you up or maybe stretches you. Create routines and rituals that make room or encompass these activities so that they simply become the things that you do. They aren't additional burdens that will add to any overwhelm. Tip number 2, self-care practices. Get to know what self-care inputs align to your unique physiological, psychological, relational, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual requirements that improve your stress management. This might look like a form of creativity, yoga, meditation, or positive embodiment activities. And sleep is a huge and absolutely necessary component to preventing overwhelm. So experiment with the timings and the duration of your optimal sleep requirements, understanding that these may change with the seasons and cycles of your body or varying times or stages of your life. Tip number 3, buffers and bridging rituals. Install brief buffer zones between meetings or appointments, tasks, or activities. This time management skill will help you to shift gears smoothly, allowing you time to end and then begin again. This might look like adding 5 or 10 minutes to the end of a meeting to calmly summarize what went on and what is further required for you. Also, develop rituals that bridge your activities. It takes a lot of mental load to shift between energy or activity or sleep. Do your brain a favor by giving it recognizable signals that trigger a more seamless transition. This will also increase your resilience threshold, helping you to bounce back with more ease and grace. So this might look like sitting in the car for 5 minutes before you walk into the feed, read, bath and bed witching hours at home. It could be as simple as getting a glass of water or having a stretch as you switch tasks. Tip number 4, environmental awareness. Establish dedicated areas or specific spaces for sleeping, working, lounging, and playing. This will help you to create an easily recognizable sense of order and structure. So this might look like having no laptops or TV in the bedroom, having a dedicated reading nook, something as simple as using a tablecloth on the kitchen table when you eat and removing it if you work there as well. Tip number 5, body scanning. Get out of your head and tune into your own body. Get to know what your body feels like and what it might be letting you know. So this might look like noticing your body sensations or muscle tensions when you're calm, when you're frazzled, when you're excited, and when you're frightened, for example. This will help you to better recognize when stress is building. Another aspect to understand around this is that other people give off energetic frequencies. So sometimes the overwhelming stress you're feeling is not your own. So this might look like doing a body scan before and after meeting up with others and noticing any changes in your body that might need addressing or letting go. Tip number 6, consider making the answer no your number one go-to boundary of boundaries, or at least use a pause clause to create time to consider your options and your available resources. This is particularly important if you're on the brink of becoming overwhelmed. This might look like saying, "Thanks so much for asking me, but I'm unable to at this time." Or, "That sounds really interesting. I'm going to need to check and get back to you." So you don't need to offer explanations, but I do recommend that you make sure you circle back after you've used a pause clause. Tip number 7, seeking assistance. Learn to delegate or enlist support of others, and also pare right down so you are only doing what is most important for you. You are not an army of one, so stop modeling and reinforcing that message to other people. This might look like asking your partner to pick up the top-up shop on their way home instead of adding it to your after-work errand list. It might also look like deciding to have eggs on toast this one night so nobody has to go to the shops. Self-improvement doesn't always mean doing more. And finally, tip number 8, weekly reviews. Dedicate time in your weekly schedule to look forward to stay on top of what's coming to minimize the curveballs, and also to reflect backward to assess your accomplishments or challenges. Your self-confidence will also be enhanced with this time management practice. So this might look like a quick 10 minutes every Friday afternoon to check your diary for the next week. and to scan back over the week that has gone to see what got done or what might need to be carried forward, or dare I say, dropped off. So there you have it. We have covered off 8 easy to implement preventions that do help me as a super giver to not go down the slippery slide into overwhelm all the time. If you do want to have that list printed out as a ready reference and not to have to try and keep it all in your head, because let's face it, you have enough going on in there already, grab my free download. The link is in the description box below. I truly hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Chat about how to recognize and cope with overwhelm part 2. Remember to click the subscribe button if you'd like to get updated when the next episode is released, where I'll be sharing what you can do when you find yourself at the bottom of the slide and neck deep in overwhelm. If you'd like any help preventing overwhelm or how to cope with stress, managing your own resources to, the changes of your everyday tasks and activities, or maybe building up your resilience threshold, let me know. I have my Truly Deeply You program coming out really soon. And this is where we can get right into all this great stuff. And if you get on my TDY wait list, you'll be the first to hear about it when it does. Because with all my heart, I want you to be able to use your voice, make your stand, and live your life your way with confidence and without guilt. So click the TDY waitlist link in the description box below. Thanks for staying to the end, and I trust I will see you again really soon.